Game resumed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the University of Chicago, going up against the University of Washington, spawning down in the bottom right of what is GSL Whirlwind from the University of Chicago. Well, not from the University of Chicago, but if he was, I'm sure he'd enjoy it. From the University of Washington, it is Kawhi Rice. His opponent spawning up in the top left, Chobo Pie from the University of Chicago. Top left. I know my directions now, apparently, Daniel. Or Cheesehead Logic, as they call you in your other life. Which is apparently working away, but that's fine. Obviously, Whirlwind is one of the larger maps in TVT. Map that, a kind of area that we have a specialist on here, so we are very fortunate today. The University of Washington is currently down a game to Chicago, but hopefully they can bring it back. There are still a lot of games left in this best of 5 series. I was going to say 7, but we have recently... Well, not too recently, a while ago, we worked it. And Daniel, if you're talking...
Oh, there we go, sorry, I just realized I have my mic muted. I'm just like, haha, that was hilarious, John, except you couldn't hear me laugh and say, haha, that was hilarious, John. Sad.
Yes.
Anyways, yes, TVT by far my most favorite matchup in the world, just because, again, one, I am a Terran, but just the awesome chess match, the mechanics that's involved, some of the mentality, some of everything else that's gone on in TVT. It's very, very enjoyable, very fun to watch, very fun to play as well. Looking at it right now, again, Kawhi does have to step it up for his team. He's got to get that ball rolling backwards towards them. Talking to them last week, again, something I mentioned earlier when Kawhi mentioned their team, again, coming off the spring semester after the grand finals, has been a little bit lazier, haven't been really sort of feeling it, hasn't exactly had the motivation. Chobo Pie, meanwhile, is going to go for the CC first. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see how Washington's mentality has changed a little bit, but hopefully they get a little bit extra motivated coming up in these qualifiers, since there is only 2 left. I mean, it's this one and then number 4, and after that it's playoffs.
Exactly right, and looks like Kawhi going to be able to scout it on the first try as he goes directly opposite the map. Does he get vision of the CC though? That's the really big question we have to ask. Yes, he does.
Upgrade.
Notices it goes through, checking back. Upgrade to YO, which is always nice to know.
Yeah, and I like this by Chobo Pie, adding a double barracks as soon as he possibly can. That's actually really, really smart right now, especially on a big map like this. Typically, Terrans do favor to go some sort of Reaper harass, some sort of Reaper opener, just to be able to, first of all, cover the distance very easy, and then be able to get some scouting information. And this is awesome. Kawhi already sending 3 additional SCVs, it looks like, on top of, actually 4 total on top of his 1 already that's been scouting with the Reaper, so he's going to try to do some bunker, probably some Reaper bunker harass, and this is so smart. I love this.
Yeah, well, it's like I said. Anytime I get to see Terran killing Terran, it's like it's a good day. I can't complain.
Well, for what you guys don't know, as we were watching this engagement happen, beautiful pull also by Chobo Pie, making sure to push his back. Actually has a great count right now of SCVs, and very smart. He actually able to catch some of the Reaper, catches 1 SCV, and honestly his focuses should stick to all of the units right here down on the low ground. He shouldn't worry really too much about that Reaper as he loses his 1 Marine, but he does have another one coming out. As long as he can prevent some of the SCVs from putting down a bunker or anything, this is actually such a huge success for Chobo Pie, because not only is Kawhi's economy delayed, but he's already got the CC first, he's already got the extra orbital, and now, I mean, basically he's taken out even a couple SCVs as well. As we take a look at the kill count, Chobo Pie's already taken 4 SCVs down, man.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're seeing, what, 18 supply to 20, and when you factor in the additional thing that he's going to be reinforcing from 2 orbital commands as opposed to just 1, second Reaper, obviously trying to make it count. They should be able to collect up at least 2 SCVs here. Don't know if they'll be able to get the third. Third one does fall. Fourth, he just needs to keep going. Needs to keep
he's
that
doing a beautiful
thing.
job right now, preventing a lot of mining time, being taken out whatever he can possibly take out. Another SCV goes down. Meanwhile, on the back side of this, if we look at Kawhi's side, he's actually already getting a 3rd CC at the moment, adding additional barracks. So this harass at first, what looked like to be a little bit fail, now is really, really paying off, because now Kawhi, not only does he have his natural setup, his 3rd command center is just about done as well, about halfway through. It's actually so
There's
smart.
beautiful placement there with the Marines, just kiting that Reaper, baiting him around the corner, and then eventually taking him out. Yeah.
Could you do me a favor, since You're not the one streaming. Could you double check on the C Star League stream and see if everything's running well? I'm having like a paranoia moment because my monitor is like too small to keep everything there. So like as I'm switching around through like the music, the Skypes, the everything, like somehow the XSplit window, like my XSplit window got lost. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I wonder if it's showing right now.
Give me 2 seconds. It looks all good to me, man.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, I just had like a little bit of a panic moment. I'm just like, well, we don't have a GSL production staff in here, man. We need NASL right now, ASAP.
Give them a call. I'm pretty sure they're free. Well,
oh, that was mean. That was mean. That was mean.
Why? They're not costing WCS Europe anymore. So
yeah,
they're free. Well, that being said, we are looking. Kawaii Rice has taken the lead in SCV production. Well, when SCV is available, he is currently 5 SCVs up, which is obviously really paying for himself, and he has got 3 upgrades on the way. What a nice little Terran play.
Indeed. Well, looking at the upgrades, nobody's got anything right now at the moment. Actually, it's cool. I actually haven't really obs in a very long time, so this is really neat. Like toying around with some of the new UI. I know last week we worked with the Game Heart UI mod, but I actually haven't like had time to really obs with some of the minor changes that the just in general UI has. It's pretty neat. The upgrades tab, love it, man.
Okay, I've got to ask you, how safe is it going for Triple CC against this kind of play of Terran?
You know,
like,
it's not.
I guess they're both doing it, so it's not too scary.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty normal on a big-sized map like this. You basically do want to get, unless your opponent's going to be investing into double gas, into like heavy marine drop, mine pressure, and just harassing, or going into some sort of one-on-one. It's fairly safe to go 3cc with the distance of the map. It's still, even with medevac boost, it's still very, very hard to cover. And I mean, Kawaii with a level of play as this, I mean, both players realize that they're going to be going bio, so it's no shock, I mean, at all. Nothing really to worry about too much. Basically, what they do is just utilize the 3rd CC for quite a while to just saturate and drop the mules, and maybe even get an additional scan just to get a little bit extra information on their opponent. And then usually a little after 10 minutes they decide to finally drop it down, and as we see right there perfectly, Kawaii is actually going to bring his down, so timing it out fairly well.
And I've got another actually really important question. Widow Mind or Siege Tank?
Siege Tank. I would still say Siege Tank, because if you miss micro your Widow Mines, or if you don't have Tunnel Claws and they stick around too long, they could fall apart. Now, I still want to see a lot more Terrans kind of experiment with them in the composition, because I've seen a lot of just in general bio pushes that have come forward with Widow Mine, and those have done a lot of damage, because, I mean, you try to hack away. Widow Mine takes a hack at your bio. Like, the Marines start like falling apart very fast, but the problem is with their DPS, and if they just get a scanner, they see it in time and are able to just DPS them down before they burrow, that's a huge problem. So I still do prefer tank. The splash damage is just really nice.
Definitely. Well, both Kawaii is a little bit ahead in terms of placing that planetary down. We are obviously seeing Chobo Pi do the same very shortly, as it slowly makes its wonderful way over. I really like the fact that he is throwing down these out-of-rim supply depots just to make sure he does have vision in case a drop is inbound.
Yeah, nothing really too crazy. Oh my god, nope, whoops.
Kawaii just going for mass marine at this stage. He hasn't really...
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that on stream. Sorry about that. My bad. I forgot to set myself to busy. We got trolls. We got trolls.
No one trolled Starker. Marines, that's a lot of Marines for Kawaii. He's got a massive supply lead actually over Chobo Pi, and I'm kind of surprised. I guess a lot of that did come down to the fact that Chobo has gone for slightly earlier additional stuff like centenary towers and things.
I mean, with Kawaii Rice, he put down 2 additional barracks and got reactors on them very quick, so he was able to outproduce. I mean, you look at the Marine count, 49 to 36. He's done a good job scanning the middle, make sure there was no siege tanks, and a lot of Marines. But this is actually going to be really neat, because both players are going to cross potentially each other in a very interesting way. As we look at Chobo Pi, he might have to come back to defend or actually do some kind of counterattack really quick, because Kawhi's going to look at this. He's scanning forward, and he realized there's nothing there. And even as you see right there, Chobo Pi is just pulling everything back. He's like, man, I don't want to mess with that. That is way too much stuff. And I feel as though Kawaii actually could just break through this right now. There's just not enough Marines, not enough defenses and DPS to actually hold all of this off. So we'll see what happens right here. This is kind of this is going to be. I feel like this is going to be a quick game for Kawaii right here, where he breaks through, does a lot of damage, and then Chobo Pi is probably not going to be able to get through this with the base trade.
Whoa! Just absolutely demolishing all those SCVs. And yeah, a lot of that obviously had to do with the fact that Chobo Pai didn't scout at the early stages of the game. Nice job of the SCVs blocking out the Marines from stimming up there.
Yeah, and see, I mean, look at this already. Like, Chobo Pai's down to 64 supply. Very good at handling of the base trade, sort of in a sense, by Kawaii Rice. He already had more units prepped, and now with the additional Marines and Medevac, he should be able to defend all of this. I would probably assume we might see a GG out of Chobo Pai, because at this point, already having one CC focus down, it's very hard, and the second one's already on fire at the moment. And typically, you know, if a Terran's on fire, that's pretty good, but not in this case. You don't want your orbital commands on fire. That's bad for your economy, man. You're not gonna get a good tax return out of that.
Siege tanks are at least in position to handle most of these Marines if they do try and make it. And I think if they stimmed in, a single shot should be able to take out a large majority. So he does have to play very safe for a little while.
Yeah, at this point though, Kawaii, if he just sends his reinforcing units right now, he should be able to tackle this. I mean, with 4 siege tanks and the amount of Marines that he does have, 2-2 upgrades already finishing up for him. Both players almost sitting at 2-2. There we go, 2-2 just finishing up for Chobo Pai as well. But as we see, Kawaii Rice sitting on 3 base, trying to get his 4th command center over there to that location with that one Marine kind of in the way. At this point, I mean, Kawaii just can cruise to a victory. Just to keep playing macro at additional barracks, keep up with your upgrades, position. If you want to be very safe, you can contain, but at this point, with just the amount of muscle that Kawaii does have, he should be able to break through.
Yeah, exactly, and does do a little bit of a nice drop inside the main of Chobo Pai, trying to put in that 3rd CC just a little bit more, but now we'll back out with that afterburners that everyone so much enjoys. He is currently double the SCV amount, essentially 60 to 34. Not exactly double, he is missing 8, but still, for maths purposes, we'll say 8 medevacs to 2 and 4 siege tanks to 2.
Drop going on over here at the 3rd of Kawaii Rice, going to get some of his SCVs picked off. And Kawhi's playing this very patient, but it looks like he's just going to go for a big doom drop within the main. There's no turrets in place right now, so this is so rough. No, Chobo Pai, why do you not have any turrets, man? And there we go, the siege tanks do pop up, and now the medevacs, they could just go get the rest of the units and drop them in within the main. At this point, I mean, just it's a very helpless situation right now for Chobo Pai, unfortunately. I mean, he's down over 100 supply right now at the moment. His production's getting camped. He's sitting on 2 base, 4 base of Kawaii Rice. And now, especially with the siege tanks in place, it's just going to be very hard to break. The factory's going to go down, and I feel as though we're going to have our series tied up here really, really soon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 180 supply to 90 supply. He's going to try and go in for this all-out attack and see how much damage he can do. Looks like he may potentially be able to... no, not going to be able to clean it up.
Yeah.
That final siege tank shell has just been too much. But, dude, after listening to Chobo Pai for about the last, 17, 18 minutes, I'm pretty hungry.
You know, right? I mean, after a good, hard-fought win, what's better than having a little bit of pie, man?
I need some pie.
Alright. Well, guys, we're going to be right back after a quick commercial break with our 2v2 between Washington and Chicago. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Raid Call this season. Be sure to join us in our lounge in Group ID channel 111. That is 4 1s. We'll put up some instructions if you guys don't know how to get Raid Call onto your computer, or otherwise, if you want to just take the quick route, go to raidcall.com. Shout out to our other sponsors as well, ncix.com. Great technology, selections, and service. A huge electronics department store, so you guys can find anything you want over there, and as well to MSI. They're doing a couple of contests, guys. NCIX with a gift card, and MSI with the free laptop giveaway, just to make a 30 to 60 second video and you got of your most failed laptop, and you guys can win a free laptop. So be sure to do that. We'll be right back.
Yeah.